Morning, I'm Jason Decker and I'm the General Sales Manager at Wright Toyota. The reason why I'm making this video is to help people with credit. A couple things you need to understand about me and why I'm making this video. Okay, I've been at Wright Toyota for 15 years now. I spent about 5 years as a finance manager and another 6.5 years as the finance director here. I probably did between $8 and $10 million a month with Toyota in loans, and I've easily funded over 25,000 loans here in those 6.5 years. So I've had an opportunity to see a lot of credit. I understand what the banks are looking for when they're buying, and more importantly, what they don't want. So a couple things I want to make you guys aware of when buying a car on credit. First thing is there's two types of auto scores. Okay, there's a auto score version 2, and there's also a FICO score. So if you're looking at Credit Karma, you might see your FICO score 680, 700, and then you come into a dealership and your auto score is about a 650 or a 620, and you're wondering why. Well, the reason why is you may not have paid that auto loan as well as you thought you did. And what the banks are looking at is that auto score to determine what your rates are going to be. What you also need to understand is what the number one factor for determining your credit score is, and it's real simple. It's credit card debt. If you have a lot of credit card debt, even though you've paid everything else absolutely perfectly, you're not going to score well, because they look at the total revolving amount of credit you have available to you relative to the amount you used up. So if you used up everything, you might have a 10% rating, and then your credit score is going to suffer dramatically. I've seen people who paid everything on time their entire life, and they just bought a home, they just furnished the home, and they just put a lot of it on credit. And the problem is they end up scoring about a 600 when they just did their refi, or they just bought their home and they were a 640 or 650. That score is also the number one factor for determining bankruptcies. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, is that's what the banks are looking for, because normally in a bankruptcy what happens is people run up their credit card debt and then they go bankrupt, and all that money that went to those credit card companies gets flushed through. So the lenders are looking at the same thing when they're determining what your risk is going to be. And risk is what determines rate. It's real simple. If you pay everything on time, you're going to have a nice low rate. If you've had problems and hiccups in the past, you're going to have a higher rate. What a lot of people do is if they have a higher rate, they go to different credit repair companies. And this is something you really need to make sure of before you go down there. Because I've seen a lot of people who've cleaned their credit over the years. And it's pretty apparent, because what happens is all of a sudden the credit card companies and everything that you've had delinquent or you've had charged off magically disappear. Okay, the problem is from the banking standpoint, what they pull as far as credit, it does not disappear. You might be a 680 here at the dealership, but you have that bureau pulled and it goes to the bank, and then all of a sudden you're a 580 because all of your credit that you thought was gone is not gone. And then what also happens is there might be large gaps in credit history. And the banks pick up on this real quick. So you got to make sure that whoever you're working with who's doing your credit cleaning understands these things. Because these gaps, we have to explain. And if we don't have an answer for, trust me, the banks know. It's not their first rodeo on this. What ends up happening with a lot of people is they end up going to a buy here, pay here. And if you do that, you need to make sure that you're taken care of. Okay, what I mean by that's real simple. A lot of these people who have these buy here, pay here lots, what happens is they carry the paper or they have the loan with you. And what ends up happening is they might pay $2,000 for a car. Okay, they've got you on a $350 to $400 payment, okay, which means your loan's probably about $10,000. And the problem is you make payments on that and you try and trade it in, and you're about $8,000 to $10,000 or about $8,000 upside down, and you wonder what happened. And the reason why is because they can carry the paper. With us or any reputable dealership, it goes through a bank. Okay, and the banks right now, obviously through the whole mortgage debacle, want to make sure that they minimize their risk. So they won't loan over and above what the car's worth, up to about maybe 120%. These buy here, pay here lots can do whatever they want. They can do 400%, 500% because, again, you make the payments to them. And if you miss a payment, they'll come knocking on your door, or they have some type of electronic device where it lets them know where it is, and they come with the tow truck to come pick it up. Also, the cars that they typically sell you are about 80 to 120,000 miles on them, right? And the problem with that is that was typically somebody else's problem that they traded into a dealership, that buy here, pay here lot ended up buying and resold back to you. And when there's a problem with that car, you can bring that car back to them, and if they can't fix it, you got a car that doesn't work, which means 9 times out of 10, that car ends up getting repossessed. And when you have that repo, it goes on your bureau, which means you can't buy a car anywhere anyways. But what they'll do is say, hey, look, we understand there's problems. We'll lend you the money to buy another car. So now you're right in the cycle. You bought another car from them. You got another 80 to 120,000 mile a year car that doesn't work, that's going to break down, and you can't get out from under this cycle. You are going to be working and making payments to these people forever. So what's the solution? It's real simple. If you work with a reputable dealership, especially us at Wright Toyota, we've got buying power. And that's what I mentioned at the beginning of this video. You know, we do between $8 and $10 million a month with Toyota. So they want to help us out and help people who need help. Also, the cars we have here at the dealership, they're not rental cars. All the vehicles that we have out on our lot are trades, okay? These are from people who've either used our service department or they're snowbirds here in Arizona, and we might have a car that's 2 or 3 years old that's got 10 or 15,000 miles on it. So you're going to have a car that's going to last you a long time. Also, we work with banks that report to the Bureau, which is extremely important because a lot of banks, or a lot of they buy here, pay here, they don't report to the credit bureau, which means you are not receiving credit for the payments you make to them, which again keeps you in that cycle of not being able to buy from anybody but them. Also, we'll make sure that we don't put you in a car that you can't afford. Because the last thing you want to do is be put in a car and have to bring it back 2 weeks later. That's completely disrespectful to you. We'll either let you know, hey, we can help you out or we can't help you out. And most importantly, it's about respect. Okay? Bad things have happened to good people. We understand that, and so do the banks, which is why if you come to Wright Toyota, make sure you have a story as to what happened. Bring your proof of income, bring your proof of residence and 5 references, and we'll do everything in our power to make sure that your loan gets approved. And most importantly is we will give you the respect you deserve. Because again, bad things happen to good people, and we're here to make sure that you get taken care of. Again, my name is Jason Decker. I'm the General Sales Manager here at Wright Toyota. My phone number is 480-778-2200, or feel free to send me an email at jdecker, and that's D as in dog, E-C-K-E-R, at wrighttoyota.com. We're here to help you. We're here to give you that respect you're due. You'll make the right choice here at Wright Toyota. Hope you have a great day, and I hope to hear from you soon. Thank you.